Everybody, my name is Lee Guerrero and welcome to Ground Zero Reptiles. Today I'm going to discuss what types of rodents you can feed your ball python, which ones I used and why I use them, and how I prepare them.
That subscribe button and the bell icon too. Welcome to Ground Zero Reptiles.
Alright folks, welcome back. Let's get down to it. So you have three types you can feed your ball pythons. There's either live, pre-kill, or frozen thawed. And with those you can either feed them rats or mice. Now live feed is exactly what it is. It's a live rodent. You put it into the tank that your ball python is in, and then your ball python hunts it down and strikes. Pre-kill is you have a live rodent, you euthanize it, then you feed it to your ball python. Then there's frozen thawed. And frozen thawed is, it's already euthanized. A company will send it to you, or you can go to a pet store and buy it, or you can go to a reptile show and buy them. But they're already euthanized. You de-thaw them, then you feed them to your ball python. So there is a bit of a debate between live and frozen thawed. A lot of people say live is better. And why? Well, they say live is more natural because in the wild, ball pythons come out, hunt a live rodent, and then eat it. So it's in their genetics, they're used to it, that's how they should eat. And a lot of other people that feed live, also because their ball python won't eat anything else. Yes, ball pythons are very picky eaters. Sometimes they will only eat live and not eat any pre-kill or frozen thawed. Other times they won't eat anything but frozen thawed. So they get very picky and kind of get stubborn on what kind of food you feed them. So from live to frozen thawed, as a lot of people say, frozen thawed is safer because there's been plenty of incidents where a live feed injures your snake. So a lot of people say that frozen thawed is safer. Now my personal opinion, first and foremost, is feed your ball python what it will eat. If it only eats live, feed it live. If it only eats pre-kill, feed it pre-kill. If it only eats frozen thawed, feed it frozen thawed. But if you feed it live, monitor it. Do not put the rodent in there and then leave it alone. Monitor your snake. So, but I personally choose frozen thawed. And my take on that is, we are raising ball pythons. We are monitoring their temperature. We are monitoring their humidity. We are monitoring their breeding. We are monitoring them when they feed. They don't have to hunt. Nothing is natural about this. So, if in nature, the snake, when it's hungry, the ball python will go out, hunt, eats when it's hungry, and then hide. And then days, weeks later, when it's hungry, will come back out. The rodent will pass by where the ball python is, not even know. Go into a little hole, see the ball python, leave, and take off. Now, if you put a rodent into an aquarium or a tub where it's trapped with your ball python, it has nowhere else to go. So it's stuck with that fight or flight. Well, it can't flight, it can't run away, so it has to fight. So there's injuries involved. But with frozen thawed, it's already dead, it can't fight. So you put it in there, and if your ball python doesn't eat, then it doesn't eat. And you can leave it in there too if you try. You can try for a little while, and if he doesn't or she doesn't eat, you can leave it in there. And majority of the time they will eat. So there's times that they don't, but majority of the time they'll eat it when it's left alone. Another thing to keep in mind before you feed your ball pythons is they're nocturnal animals. That being said, they hunt at night. So I recommend you feed, for a successful feeding, feed your ball pythons at night. Make sure there's minimal amount of light on in the house so that it actually feels like it's nighttime. That's why a lot of people like doing day and night cycles. So they will either have a window open and a clear tub that the reptile can look out of so the light can go in. And then when it gets dark, it realizes it's dark. So your feeding is on a decent schedule. Now other people that keep their room darker, or they have gray tubs that you can't see out, so tubs inside are dark, have a feeding schedule, and it kind of throws the day-night cycle of the ball python, which then kind of helps out the breeder, feeding them at a better time during the day. So that's my take on it. Now, let me show you how I prepare a frozen thawed rodent and feed them to my snakes. So when it comes down to feeding time, usually the night before or the morning of feeding, I'll have all my rats or rodents, be it mice or rats, separated into a bag and put into the container. Right now it's just one of my ball pythons feeding time, so I only have one. So what I do is I just put in this old butter jar, take that and I put it in the refrigerator. So after you've had it fine in the refrigerator overnight or from the morning, what you're gonna do is when you're about an hour or so before you start feeding, you want to get your hot cap ready, and you're going to put whatever container you have the mouse in. You want to fill that up with water. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crack the end here, so the air, as the water fills up and around the bag, the air kind of escapes here, to make it more surface area that the water is going to contact. So now you can see how it's shrunk wrap around the mouth or the rat. I'll make sure this is Ziploc tight. And I'm going to come over here and put on this right here. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is come over here. It should be thawed, so what I'm going to do is fill. I'm going to fill for any hard spots in here to making sure it's thawed. The rat does feel pretty warm. There is some blood oozing out of its nose, so that's good. So I'm just going to up the temperatures just a little bit by adding some hot water. There we go. That's all I'm doing. It's not going to cook it. It's not going to do anything bad. All it is doing is just increasing the temperature. So now that I'm in the snake room, I am now going to get my gloves on and start preparing it to feed it to my ball python. It's at a good temperature. What I'm going to do is just dump him right here, put this back here, check the temperature. 103. So by the time I actually get it in there and everything ready, it's going to be nice and perfect temperature. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the hide out, grab the rat. He's got a little bit of food. By the back of his hind legs there, and that little flap of skin. I'm just gonna dangle it right there. Oh, he missed. It's okay. It's okay that they missed. Maybe striking out of. So he's striking it not to eat it, but defensive. He's hissing. And sometimes you just gotta be patient.
And sometimes you just gotta leave the rat in there for your snake to eat. So what I did was I left him in there for 30 minutes so Captain Reynolds can eat, and he took it down. I don't see it anywhere in here. Well, I don't want to stress him out because he can regurgitate. So all I'm going to do is just push it back in, call it, oh, got to put his hide back in without being bitten. Okay. There. And there, successful. Oh, he's already ready. Let me get the camera down. Boom. You just get him out the water. And what I like to do is give little tugs so he thinks he's killing it, making it seem like it's alive, you know? And all I do is just tuck him back there, and that's it. That's how I feed one successful, and you saw one that wasn't successful with a strike, but still was successful in eating. This one's successful eating with the strike.
Okay, so you saw how I did it. It's very simple. I had one instance where the first one you saw me feed, he didn't strike at it to wrap it up and eat it. He struck at it defensively. So he felt threatened. So what I did was try a little bit. Maybe after a while he sensed it and said, oh, that's food. Didn't work. So then I just left it in there, left for 30 minutes because I can. It's not live, it won't hurt my snake. So I leave it there for 30 minutes. I came back and it was gone. Then you saw the other one where right as I opened it, he saw it and struck, wrapped it up, and then that's it. But both of those rats I thawed the same exact way. I don't change how I do it. Thawed the same exact way, and my technique is the same. I always use tongs. I always feed at night, which is very key. So if you have any questions or any other useful bits of information, please comment down below and we can have a great discussion about it. Because this sometimes, depending on the person, is a touchy subject. It's very, very in a controversial sense where a lot of people go, only live feed, anyone else that does anything else is harming their snake and should never own snakes. And then there's the opposite of frozen thawed, saying, hey, anyone that doesn't do frozen thawed is hurting their snakes and should never own snakes. So it's this big balance of everyone thinks they're right and every other way is wrong, and that's not how the world works. The world works, and ball pythons is what we do best for our ball pythons, not best for what you think. It's not about your feelings. It's about your ball python. And we got to get past that and understand it. So, as always, it is fantastic that you guys watched this video. I love you all. I hope you guys take care of each other, take care of your reptiles, and I will see you again.